The Book of Job, Chapter 5, King James. Call now, if there be any that will answer thee, and to which of the saints wilt thou turn? For wrath killeth the foolish man, and envy slayeth the silly one. I have seen the foolish taking root, but suddenly I cursed his habitation. His children are far from safety, and they are crushed in the gate, neither is there any to deliver them. Whose harvest the hungry eateth up, and taketh it even out of the thorns, and the robber swalloweth up their substance. Although affliction cometh not forth of the dust, neither doth trouble spring out of the ground. Yet man is born unto trouble, as the sparks fly upward. I would seek unto God, and unto God would I commit my cause. Which doeth great things and unsearchable, marvelous things without number. Who giveth rain upon the earth, and sendeth waters upon the fields. To set up on high those that be low, that those which mourn may be exalted to safety. He disappointeth the devices of the crafty, so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. He taketh the wise in their own craftiness, and the counsel of the froward is carried headlong. They meet with darkness in the daytime, and grope in the noonday as in the night. But he saveth the poor from the sword, from their mouth, and from the hand of the mighty. So the poor hath hope, and iniquity stoppeth her mouth. Behold, happy is the man whom God correcteth, therefore despise not thou the chastening of the Almighty. For he mocketh sore, and bindeth up, he woundeth, and his hands make whole. He shall deliver thee in 6 troubles, yea, in 7 there shall no evil touch thee. In famine he shall redeem thee from death, and in war from the power of the sword. Thou shalt be hid from the scourge of the tongue, neither shalt thou be afraid of destruction when it cometh. At destruction and famine thou shalt laugh, neither shalt thou be afraid of the beasts of the earth. For thou shalt be in league with the stones of the field, and the beasts of the field shall be at peace with thee. And thou shalt know that thy tabernacle shall be in peace, and thou shalt visit thy habitation, and shalt not sin. Thou shalt know also that thy seed shall be great, and thine offspring as the grass of the earth. Thou shalt come to thy grave in a full age, like as a shock of corn cometh in his season. Lo this, we have searched it, so it is, hear it, and know thou it for thy good. Commentary and main themes. Job chapter 5 continues the speech of Eliphaz, and here his message becomes more developed, and more persuasive on the surface. He mixes truth with assumption, wisdom with misapplication. Eliphaz begins by warning Job that trouble does not come randomly. He claims that suffering has a cause rooted in human behavior. His famous line, "Man is born unto trouble, as the sparks fly upward," reflects a real truth about the fallen condition of humanity. Life in a broken world does bring hardship. Then, interestingly, Eliphaz gives advice that sounds right: would seek unto God. In this, he is not wrong. He describes God as powerful, just, and merciful, one who lifts up the lowly and frustrates the wicked. These descriptions are accurate and reflect true aspects of God's character. But the error comes in his conclusion. Eliphaz assumes that Job's suffering is God's correction, that Job is being chastened for wrongdoing. He even says, "Happy is the man whom God correcteth," implying that Job should accept his suffering as discipline for sin and repent accordingly. Here is the problem: while God does discipline his people, Eliphaz wrongly applies this truth to Job's situation without evidence. He speaks as though he knows God's purpose, but he does not. He even paints a picture of restoration and blessing, security, peace, long life, if Job will simply accept this correction. But again, his entire framework is built on a false assumption, that Job's suffering is punishment. Main themes. Truth about God mixed with incorrect application. The reality that life includes trouble in a fallen world. God as both just and merciful. The danger of assuming all suffering is divine punishment. The difference between wise counsel and true understanding. This chapter teaches a crucial lesson: not all biblical-sounding advice is rightly applied. Eliphaz speaks many true things about God, but he misunderstands Job's situation. Discernment is needed not just to recognize truth, but to apply it rightly. Memory verse. Behold, happy is the man whom God correcteth, therefore despise not thou the chastening of the Almighty. Job 5 verse 17, King James.